Hello, friends. Welcome to Live from the State Open of Virginia at Independence Golf Club in Midlothian, Virginia. I'm Matt Pochily alongside Mike Morrone.
How are you?
Partner.
What's happening?
Happy to be doing this.
This is going to be fun.
This is awesome. We're on the back patio at Independence Golf Club here, host of the 2025. This is the 12th year from my records that Independence has hosted. You've had the opportunity to play in this, and now you're here with us on this side.
I've played in it, which is why I'm sitting in this seat now. Guaranteed to work on Sunday this year. No miscut for me. Have retired, put away the sticks for the State Open. It's been a pleasure to be asked to be a part of this, kind of doing some media coverage with you this week, and then on the live stream doing the color commentary for the broadcast this weekend. So.
Well, we're thankful to the team at the MAPGA and the VSGA for the opportunity to bring you this preview show. We're looking forward also to Saturday and Sunday when College Golf Network will be on site streaming the second and the final round of the event, which is going to be very exciting. Let's talk a little bit about Independence.
Sure.
You are hanging up the sticks in the State Open for a reason, but your game aside, how tough does Independence play for this?
It's tough. It's a golf course for the Bombers. We'll have a few of them up here. We'll be chatting with them today, but long golf course going to be played as a par 70 this year. Moving number 8 up a little bit to a 480-yard par 4. So par 70, about 7,100 yards. So it's a bomber that I played yesterday. The rough, the ball just falls to the bottom of it, and you just don't know what you're going to get. So hit it long, hit it straight. Greens are fairly receptive right now. We've had a bunch of rain in the area, so not too bad to hold the greens yet. But if it stays dry, these things will get firm and fast.
The course is in, from my opinion, as good a condition as I've seen, barring co-hosting the U.S. Mid-Am last fall, in which rave reviews from all of the players about Independence and Kinloch. And there we saw a very different type of grasses between the two courses. And you were talking a little bit about Independence. They like it so much to play firm and fast, and you have to play front of the green numbers.
Yes, absolutely. A little bit different just because of how much rain we have. It's not quite as firm. Some balls yesterday were kind of just hitting and stopping there on the aprons, weren't bouncing up. So we'll see if that changes for some of the guys, especially hitting those low balls, those knuckle balls out of the rough. But yeah, the greens are generally flat, but Bermuda, which not too many people are used to in this neck of the woods. So a little new for a lot of guys since we have a lot of bent greens in the area. There is some grain you got to pay attention to. Just another, added challenge for these guys to figure out while they're on the greens.
I know we talked with Jay Woodson earlier in the week, and we'll be having him on here tonight. 4-time champion. You and Jay walked through the first 3 holes of the course, talking about the difficulty there, and we faced some difficulty on the back 9 as well, bringing it in. There's plenty of birdie holes out there, but there's still some tough spots.
Yeah, the golf course has a good blend of some long and short. Obviously, only 2 par 5s this year, so we take away one of the real scoring opportunities on number 8, making it a par 4. But there is a good blend of 480-yard par 4s, and then sub 400 where guys are going to be hitting some flip wedges. You can see guys drive number 10. We'll see if they move it up. Typically, the State Open Committee will move it up. On 12, there's some talk of maybe some other holes moving up this year to get drivable, make some scoring opportunities. So you really got to hit all the shots, all the clubs. You're going to have long irons in, and then also some flip wedges you got to be precise with.
As a professional, when you heard that number 8 was going to be played as a par 4, you probably had 2 thoughts related to you're playing in it and then what it's going to be like for the field. What was your immediate thought versus playing
thank God I'm retired, number 1. But that was the easiest hole last year. It played about a third of a stroke under par for the tournament, so it was gettable for the guys. So that was not a shoe-in birdie for them, but a good opportunity to make an eagle or birdie. That's now gone. Now you got a stout par 4 in front of you, coming off of a tough par 3 on 7, tough par 3 on 9. It was nice to have that fairly friendly par 5 sandwich in the middle there to get a birdie, kind of keep the round going. But now it's just another stout hole, another real tough 3-hole stretch. 1, 2, 3 that you mentioned is a tough start, and then 6, 7, 8, 9 7, 8, 9 is a real tough stretch to finish that front 9 before we make the turn.
Yeah. And we'll hear from some of the guys about that. We already mentioned Jay Woodson, a 4-time champion. Leading up to the event, we had an opportunity to catch up with a few other folks who were past champions of the event. Two individuals that we had the chance to talk to were three-time champions of the event who told us a little bit about what makes the State Open so special. Let's take a look at that.
For me, growing up here in Richmond, that was my tournament. The State Open was the one that if I played well there, then I had a chance to show off.
You know, I just felt like if we could get the Bobby Watkins, the Robert Wrens, you know, some of the guys that had graduated from Virginia golf to the PGA Tour to come back and support our Open, it would just give it that much more cachet.
I played in the State Open from the time I was 16 until the time I was probably in my mid-40s. I was lucky enough to win the State Open 3 times. I finished second to my brother one time as an amateur.
It's been a very popular event, and it's grown, but still brings all the best pros and amateurs in the state to play. You go back to Lanto Griffin, who's on the tour now, Mark Lawrence. We've had a number of very good Virginia players who John Rawlins, I'm sure, has played. It gives it a prestige that a lot of State Opens don't have.
It's just the biggest golf tournament in the state of Virginia.
Welcome back to Live from the State Open. Matt Pochily and Mike Morrone, now joined by Liam Mcglaflin, 2025 VSGA amateur champion, and 4-time State Open champion Jay Woodson. You also won an amateur in your career as well, in your amateur career.
Two of them. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
No slouch yourself.
Yeah. Don't forget the second one. That was just as difficult as the first.
Well, and we want to shout out Real Property Management as well for their support of this live stream, but also throughout the weekend, the support that you all are offering to us. And we really appreciate that.
Absolutely.
We appreciate you being here. But Jay, tell us a little bit about, even recap a little bit your run last year, late in the final round, 62, goes to a playoff. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of was behind the 8 ball to start the day. I think I was maybe 5 or 6 shots back, if not more than that. So, when you're in a position like that to start the final round, you have to come out with the guns ablazing and just see what you can do, starting early and making as many birdies as you can. So lucky enough to get off to kind of a hot start and then just rode it all the way through.
That's awesome. You and Mike go back some time with your Emergency 9 podcast.
Yep.
So we appreciate both of you
We know
guys.
each other a little bit. Yeah.
Talk a little bit about your work now with Liam. He's 16, right?
Yes, sir.
Just won the VSG Amateur. How did you guys get connected? And talk a little bit about that.
His dad reached out to me. It was probably 4 years, no, 3, almost 4 years, right?
Almost 4,
Yeah. So they play at Mag Green quite a bit, and actually they were on the green, practice green, I think, and they met a good friend of mine, Steve Jenkins, who actually has played well in this tournament, and Steve recommended me to work with him. So lucky for me that they reached out to me. So it's been a good relationship since. And, my goal is to try to make them, the best players they can and try to keep it as simple as they can. I mean, they're super talented kids. I think really my goal is not to mess them up too much, right? Just let them do what they're good at. And as you can see, Liam and his brother Noah, they're very competitive, and they've done some really, really incredible things at such a young age. It's fun to watch.
And Noah not here this weekend because he is qualified, but he's at the U.S. Junior Amateur, correct?
U.S. Junior Amateur, yes, sir.
That is awesome. Liam, let's talk a little bit about your spring into your summer now. Talk about that season so far.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's been great starting off. I finished well in a couple of AJGA tournaments this spring, so that was awesome. And then, the end of June was pretty solid, going into the state amateur. And, I'll never forget that feeling for sure. It was just an amazing week.
Talk about, maybe like the night before or the final round, like what that was like. And you'd had to play through a couple of mid-ams as well, right?
Yes, sir.
Leading up to that match with Justin Young in the finals. But let's talk about your nerves the night before and how are you feeling?
Yeah, no, I really tried not to think about it too much. But yeah, no, it's definitely in my head, but I just stuck to the game plan. I was just like, all right, we've been playing solid golf all week, so I just trust the process. And got to the golf course and just try to do my best. Yes, sir.
Liam, tell me about the competitive rivalry with you and your brother? I know being so close in age, playing golf, playing a bunch of the same fields. What's that like? You guys, I'm sure you're supporting each other, but I'm sure you're trying to beat him pretty good too.
Yeah, no, it's really cool to have an older brother that's also very competitive at golf. And to be honest, I think it pushes me to get better. You know, it sucks losing to him. So when I do lose, it makes me want to get better. But no, we have a great relationship, and just trying to help each other out really helps too. But yes, sir, we have a great relationship, and it's awesome.
We ever got any wagers on the action or what?
Yeah, we bet sometimes.
Okay.
He's not the big betting type.
We got to start him young.
Yeah.
Did Dad have to make a choice this week as to where he was going to go?
It's the biggest tournament in the state. So
Yes,
if,
sir.
if a local pro wins it,
He's unfortunately going to Dallas. Talk
Talk a little bit about, you know, I had the opportunity to catch up with you just a couple days after the championship at Birdwood, at Magnolia Green. I ran into you and we were talking a little bit about it. But you had amassed a decent lead, 5 or 6 up through the morning 18 holes.
Yes, sir.
And then had Justin to Dormy, 3 up with 3 to play. Talk about those last 3 holes, though, because I think that's a point for everybody who was following online, was glued to Golf Genius, hitting refresh as fast as they could. But let's hear it from somebody that was in the middle of it. I don't think JY's here yet.
Yeah. No, I mean, 16. It's a very short par 4, and they had the tees up, so it's actually drivable. And I had the tee, so I just hit, I think, a 6-iron just to get in the middle of the fairway, and I hit it good, so I was pretty happy with that. And then Justin, he gets the tee and pulls driver, and he actually like pulled it, and I thought it was in the hazard, but then we get up there, and he was like just short of the bunker. So I was like, all right, there's a pretty solid chance he makes birdie. So I get to the fairway, and I think I hit a pitch wedge to about 12 feet. So I had a pretty solid look for birdie. So I was very, very happy with that. And then, yeah, he hit this ridiculous little high pitch shot to about 8 feet for birdie, and he made it. So I was like, yeah, we got to make a putt, but unfortunately missed it. So that was a little disheartening. And then we got to 17, and we both flared our irons to the right. And then, yeah, he went first, and he hit this chip, and he one-handed it. So I was like, all right, maybe it's not as good as he was hoping for. And I just keep watching, and the ball just takes off towards the flag, and all of a sudden it goes dead center stick and drops. I was like, dang, that sucks. But yeah, hit my bunker shot, and I was like, yeah, just clap for my said congrats. And then, yeah, 18 came. I was 1 up. He hit driver in the fairway, so I was like, yeah, we got to match that. So I was very fortunate to do it. And then he hit first. He hit it pretty solid. I could tell it was a little short. I think he had about 30 feet for birdie. And then, yeah, I get up there. I also hit it to about 30 feet, but I had to go first. So that was definitely nerve-wracking. But, yeah, I hit a good lag to 2 feet. And then he putted, and for a second I thought he made it again. It was tracking, but unfortunately missed on the high side. And then I had a 2-footer to secure the victory and made it. Yes, sir.
That's awesome. Jay, as someone who's had success in this event, I'm curious to hear what you've talked to Liam about going into this event as he tries to become like Mark Lawrence, who we'll have on the show here in 2020, won the amateur and won the state open in the same year. What have you talked to Liam about related to the mental aspect and then the course?
Yeah. I mean, I just continue to do what he's been doing. You know, he's been working hard. He's worked, hard on all aspects of his game. And I think the one thing that stands out with Liam's game is I think he's really he's not afraid of any situation, any person. Obviously, it's apparent he just won, the AM as a 16-year-old. Hasn't been done roughly in 100 years. So there's no moment that's too big for him, which I think is really cool. At such a young age, you get up and just say, hey, this is my opponent. It's Justin Young, one of the best players in the state of Virginia. I'm going to go beat him. And that's the thought that he has. So he just needs to keep that same mindset out here. There's a lot of good players, great players, and we got a lot of open champions. You mentioned Mark, who's now on a great run on the Corn Ferry Tour. So he just has to keep that same mentality. I can play with these guys and just go play golf.
That's awesome. What do you have, Mike?
Liam, this guy has been through a lot. He's had a ton of success in this game. What are you learning? What's the number one you're learning? One, I think he's the biggest competitor I know. It's annoying sometimes, but what are some of your biggest takeaways from working with Jay?
Yeah, no, I mean, working with Jay has been awesome, and it has really helped me a lot. I would say one of the biggest takeaways is really just the mental side of golf. We can get caught up on swing mechanics and try to fix the golf swing and make it look solid. But he always tells you, right, once you get up to that first team tournament, you have to work with what you have, no matter what it is. So I think the biggest thing for me that I've taken away is just the mental side, right? Just being a player of golf instead of just working on it. You know what I'm saying? So I would say he's just really helping me be in the right mental state going into tournaments.
Play
Yes,
golf,
sir.
not golf swing.
Right, 100%.
That's awesome. Well, we appreciate you guys taking the time to
Yes,
join
sir.
us on live from.
Yes,
Jay,
sir.
thank you for your
got it.
support. But
Absolutely.
best of luck to both of
Thank
you
you.
over the
Appreciate
weekend.
it. Yes,
Thank you,
sir.
guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll
Thanks,
bring
Mikey.
up somebody
Appreciate
else.
it.
Good luck.
Appreciate it.
Up
Yep.
next.
Thank you.
Up here.
Yes.
That's a
Tech
good.
boys.
That's a good
We
tandem.
want some dirt. Come on up, guys.
Thanks for
You're
having me.
welcome.
Good stuff. Congrats, man. That was an awesome
Thank
night.
you.
Really was fun.
Thank you.
Wow.
So now we welcome into Virginia Tech guys, Joey Jordan, Mark Lawrence Jr. Mark, apart from it being one of the hottest days of the year, you're probably one of the hottest players in and out of Virginia at this moment, coming off of a nice Corn Ferry Tour run. Just talk a little bit about the journey of the last 6 weeks or so.
Yeah, got hot at a good time and kind of took advantage, or got hot at a good time, took advantage of it. It was, great experience. I am very happy that I was able to do that. Just proving it to myself, just with how difficult the last few years have been injury-wise, being able to get out there and compete with the guys that I'd competed against since I was 13, 14 years old and prove myself was nice. Need to get another hot streak like that going, finish the year out. But it's been good. I haven't really played a whole lot the last few weeks.
A lot of Richmond folks that I had the opportunity to talk with were real excited to see you on that run and come back from as strong as you did from that injury. That's really special. What
Play the Monday qualifier for the Corn Ferry event there. It'll pretty much just be doing Monday qualifiers till the playoffs in September. Based off the point standings right now, I should be in the playoffs, but it's not a guarantee. So I really need to get in more events. So, maybe get a sponsor's exemption. Probably not. So I'm going to end up having to Monday qualify in, but I've done it before, so I'm confident I can do it again.
I had the pleasure of calling him a Virginia Tech boy, and I know that you had a part in that opportunity for him. Tell us that story real quick before we go to one of the most exciting players, one of the most exciting mid-ams in all mid-am golf.
I got to caddy for him last year. That was a highlight of its own.
Before we start on that one, I actually texted him because I was hoping he really wasn't playing in this tournament. Because obviously,
Right, obviously.
he's smart. So I was like, "Hey, man, do you want to caddy for me again this year?" And he was like, "Nah, I'm playing." I was like, "Dang it!" I was like, "Dang it!" So I think my caddy from last year is probably the favorite in the field, but it makes me so happy to see him playing so well and play to his potential because we know what that is, and seeing him play in college and everything and through the amateur ranks and battle through the injuries just as a close friend, not only just a teammate. It does make me really happy. And hey, there's no one I'd rather be battling out with down the stretch on Sunday than this guy and my caddy from last year. So well, I'll try to do my part. I know he'll probably be there. I got to do my part.
Yeah, you've had a ton of success here, Mark, at Independence. Obviously, the 2020 championship, runner-up again in 2021, top finishes in the last year was that you did play here. What is it about Independence, and what sort of strategy goes into around here?
I mean, I've had success here. I actually think I played Ballyhack better than I play Independence, surprisingly. It doesn't seem like it because everyone assumes that I hit the ball a long ways and this is a bigger golf course, so it would suit me better. I don't know why. For some reason, I got really good at playing Ballyhack, and I played that course really well. Obviously, I love Independence. It's my home golf course. Out here, the huge thing is distance. Take advantage of being able to hit it farther. A lot of drivers here. This time of the year, the course plays as difficult as it'll play all year round. Just firm, fast, crucial to hit fairways. So the driver is the biggest club in the bag this week. If you can drive it well, you can play well out here.
Yeah, I think I misspoke. You did win your 2020 at Ballyhack. That's right. Joey, you're one of the longer hitters in the field. Obviously, very exciting to watch. But talk about your perspective on the course this week.
Yeah, this course I feel very comfortable on. It's one where like Mark said, I feel like I can just kind of open up the driver and really let it go. Whereas other courses that we play, got to guide it around a little bit more. But, the last 2 years I have played well and trending in the right direction with my game right now. So I'm hoping to, hit that driver well and make some putts. And like Mark said, I mean, that's really what it's all about is getting the driver in play and long, and then just giving yourself as many looks as possible. These greens are tricky. a lot of subtle breaks. So, you know, not every 8 to 10 footer is going to fall. You just got to, you know, law of averages, just give yourself as many opportunities as possible. And eventually they're going to start going in, hopefully. So, especially with taking out one of the par fives, that's certainly going to change things and potentially play into our hands, just being longer players. So hopefully, you know, can just really drive it straight and still long.
Yeah. I got a two-parter. Who is the longest player in the field?
It's neither one of us.
No?
Yeah, I don't think so.
No.
Who is it?
Joey likes to say he hits it farther than me.
I think I
10% of the time, so that he hits it further than me. But the 90% of the time, I hit it further than him. But I don't.
This is old data we're working off of. Post Mark's wrist injury, plus I got a new driver. You know, there are a couple new variables.
Get you down on the driving range with the track.
We can do a ball speed.
We can do a ball speed test. We'll do a ball speed
quickly.
test.
All right. Second question: who wears the tighter shirts in the tournament? Is it you?
Oh, definitely me in the
Yeah,
shortest shorts for
Okay.
sure. You're gonna see some short shorts
Not much
on the
material.
coverage Saturday and hopefully on Sunday
You don't
too.
go to 5 inches, do you?
I try not to measure them. You know, I tell everyone they're sevens, but they know that's just not true.
Mark, question for you. These greens are tricky. I've always struggled reading them, putting them. What, as your home golf course, what is the trick on these? You might not want to tell anyone since this is the eve of the tournament, but.
Well, I mean, my old trick was it's straight.
Yeah.
But they don't verticut the greens anymore. So there's a lot more grain
right.
influence now. So the ball will turn more. A guy who plays out here with us is named Ryan Cole.
Yep.
Earlier in the year, it was probably late February, early March. The greens were, you know, winter time, not really grown in great. They were a little bumpy and everything. And we were playing and like neither one of us were making any putts. And he was like, I'm just going to try to hit a good putt and don't care what happens. And I've sort of used that mindset everywhere I go ever since he said that. And I never really, I'd always known that's how you should think, but like I really started thinking that way, and it's changed the way I've putted significantly. And I think that's really a strategy out here. Like they're tricky. They're not easy. They're subtle breaks, but you just got to try to hit a good putt, and whatever happens, happens. Yeah.
Thank you so much for you guys coming on. What time are your tee times tomorrow?
I think we're both at 9, just on opposite ends.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
So
Do you
it couldn't
have
be us too far
anything?
apart.
Do you have anything on the opening round or any wagers?
No, but if there was going to be one, I might have to lobby for strokes. You know, just based on the Corn Ferry run.
He finished top 10 last year. He's out there and shoot like 75.
And I know that you had real quick. You had Stens on your bag on your Corn Ferry Tour run. Like I found it.
Stens is the man.
Yeah.
He was awesome. He did an incredible job. He'll be back on the bag for the playoffs.
About Stensler. I know Stensler from high school lacrosse and golf. Teammate Stensler. Good to see you, brother. Hopefully you're tuned in.
He's awesome. Thank you guys so much for taking the
Appreciate
time.
you, man.
Love having you.
Good
Thanks.
luck this weekend.
Thank you, Junior.
Who we got next? Let's go to the PGA and MAPGA side.
Yeah.
Welcome up Larkin Gross. Sorry to put you on the spot, Larkin. Is that sub-digested?
Let's bring up Josh.
And Josh, yeah. Thanks, man.
Thanks, sir. Yep. Come on.
Thank you. Well, thank you guys, both of you, for being here. You know, in the years that I've done preview videos for this championship, you two are always go-tos. Josh, I'm always looking at you at the Richmond Golf Association pro member that we have here at Independence. You've won that a few times. I'm always talking to you.
6.
Yep.
6.
Both played in 3.
3 each.
Yeah.
And who was there this year?
Me.
Talk a little bit about that experience at Quail Hollow.
Yeah, it was really hard. It was they got 5 inches of rain the week before the tournament, so it was super wet, and they have sub air on the greens, so the greens were super firm. So the best way I can describe it is on number 9, the first day, I smoked a drive. It's one of my best ones of the week, and I'm really excited. And we get to the throughout, and I'm like, "How far we got?" And she goes, "You got 240." And I was like, "Awesome! This is not a par 5. This is a par 4." So we had driver 4-wood into a par 5 on 9 the first day. So it was super tough. Par 4. I'm sorry, par 4. And it was really tough. It was it's always a great experience. But it's definitely different from anything that we play in day in and day out in section stuff, and even in the big national PGA stuff. So
Josh, what's your
Yeah, man, I totally agree. It's so much different than the golf we play every day. I mean, you go to that event and you feel really good about your game because you made it there, which is incredibly difficult to do. And you have to hit the ball further than you normally do, higher than you normally do, with more spin than normal. And you have to figure out how to hit it 200 yards out of the rough, which never happens for us in any other golf tournament we play in. So it's a daunting task, and you still go there thinking you can do great things like Michael Block did a few years ago. So it's a challenge mentally to stand over every shot knowing, okay, I got to pretty much hit my best here and then go to the next one and hit my best there, even to have a chance. It's difficult, but it's amazing that the PGA of America gives us that opportunity. And we're fortunate enough to have done it 6 times between 2 of us.
Yep.
It's incredible.
Give us a wow story. I mean, you're on the biggest stage in the world with the best players in the world. There's got to be a couple wow moments, pinch yourself moments you've had.
He did not play. He's a really big reason why I play golf. When he won the 97 Masters, I asked my parents for golf clubs that Christmas. So I got to talk to him on Sunday before the week kind of started at Valhalla last year. Got to thank him, kind of for me being a golfer.
Yeah.
So that was a really cool moment. And the whole thing is kind of a wow moment, to be honest with you. Just being there is really, really cool. And they treat us, for the most part, just like every other 155 players in the field. They really, really do.
Yeah, I would say for me, I mean, there's many, but the one that I always go back to is in 2021, my first one. I would have been the youngest player in the field if it weren't for some guy named Joaquin Neiman. And I actually, by chance, played 9 holes in a practice. He was flighting drivers into the wind, like shaping it both ways at Kiowa. And it's like, I'm sitting there, I'm like, I'm just trying to hit this somewhere on the planet. And he's, again, he's literally working on shaping draws and cuts depending on where the wind is and where he wants to be in the fairway. And I'm like, that's a different level. I mean, and the crazy thing is he's not the only one. Obviously, he's super talented, but like, there's at least 30 to 40 other guys that are just like him that are doing the same thing. And it's really impressive.
It's amazing when you take a group of really talented people and that's the only thing they do, they can do some really cool stuff. I mean, it's kind of unbelievable to watch some, like, we're obviously really good at golf, but it's not what we do for a living, playing golf. We also work and have families, and like I teach, and so to see somebody that's the only thing they do is golf all the time, it's kind of amazing what they can do.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to throw it to Mike.
Kind of amazing what they can do.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to throw it to Mike, because I mean, you obviously wear similar shoes to what these guys do, and wear similar shoes to what these guys do. And Josh is talking about how good the professionals are, but how good are the both of them to make it to where they have?
They're the 2 of the best in our section, and I kind of marvel at them because I have a job like them. We're at the club all day, every day, and what we do is to help others play golf. Our industry is not necessarily set up to help us play golf, right? We're here to help grow the game, help our members, help our clients, our customers. So I marvel at these guys that can keep their game sharp. I can't. If you ask my assistants, almost every other day, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go hit a few balls today. And almost never do, because I get caught up doing something and just can't make it up to the range, and then wife and kids at home. So talk to us about keeping sharp, being on the lesson tee all day, being in the golf shop all day, running a tournament, and then all of a sudden, hey, I got to go play in a section event. What's that like? How do you keep your game sharp?
Yeah.
You go.
Okay.
You go.
I mean, for me, obviously, Spader's a teaching pro or director of instruction. So his schedule is obviously different from mine as an assistant, not in a bad way, but it's just like totally flip-flop different. Yeah. And so I try to just bracket times outside of when I'm working. So like if I try to make a really concerted effort to half hours early and try to play with members or walk 9 holes or spend some time on my game, putt, chip, do all that kind of stuff. And it's when I took the job at Westwood in early 2024, I told my wife Paige that I wanted to rededicate myself to the game, and that's to my game and being better, because I didn't feel like I had played my best golf in 22 and 23, and that's what that includes. It's just making time outside of my normal job, and really I love to play golf, so I'm lucky, but I know it's hard for a lot of people after, the last thing you want to do after working all day is go out and hit balls or practice. I'm a sicko and I love doing that anyway. But there was a time, like I said, in 22 and 23 where I really was slack. I'm a sicko and I love doing that anyway. But there was a time, like I said, in 22 and 23, where I really was slacking on that. And so it's just putting in, the effort kind of before you go to bed the night before, thinking, okay, this is my schedule. I'm going to be working for 9 hours. When can I squeeze time in to just do the little stuff, whether it's putting, chipping, hitting balls in the range, things like that. And making an effort to play with members. That's the most important thing. It really is. They love that. I'm sure Spade can speak to this too. They love that we can play and that we play well. And they want us to play with them as much as possible. So,
yeah, I mean, it's tough. So I teach now so that I can have a more flexible schedule. I have a 4-year-old and a 3-year-old at home, a wife who has a really difficult job that takes a lot of her time and energy, and I own a home and I live 50 minutes from work. So it's a tough schedule to balance. I mean, it made it a lot easier now that I make my own schedule in teaching. So I try to get there 30 minutes early and hit a few balls or chip and putt. I also teach probably 80% hit a few balls or chip and putt. I also teach probably 80% of the time on the golf course. So I'm playing 3 holes here, 2 holes there, because I like to play with my students. They get a lot out of that. So that's really what my kind of practice schedule is. It's not very intense at all because I just don't have the time. I'm not playing on the weekends and playing in things. I play in our section events, but I also make my golf swing to where I don't really have to practice a whole lot. I try to do it through efficiency instead of repetition.
which is annoying.
Yeah, it is.
Can be annoying for the rest of us.
You both look like you've got great pairings for tomorrow. Josh, you're playing with Connor Burgess, our 2023 champion. Larkin, you're playing with Liam Mcglaflin, who was on a few minutes ago, VSGA amateur champion this year. Talk a little bit about outlook for the weekend or course strategy. How the course going to play for you, and what of it suits your game, and what doesn't?
Yeah, I mean, I've played this. I think I counted today now, and I've played obviously since we've come back to Independence. To me, there's not a whole lot of strategy. It's hit it as far as you can and knock it on the green and try to make putts. That seems to be the strategy. It becomes more strategic when that doesn't go well. Missing greens out here is problematic because there's lots of fall off areas and the greens are hard to get your ball to stop with chipping and pitching. The rough this year seems to be thicker, not necessarily taller, but thicker than I've seen it, which makes sense because we've gotten a lot of rain in Richmond. But yeah, I mean, I have historically always hit it well here, hit lots of greens. I struggle reading these greens to some extent. Actually, today was the best I've seen to grasp the reading of the greens that I've had in a few years. So I'm excited for it. I always love playing tournament golf. That's why I do it. So it's for me to do what I like to do. So.
Yeah. Larkin, what about you?
Yeah, I agree. It's all about driver. Like practice round today, I drove it great and it felt easy. And if you don't drive it great, it can feel really hard.
Completely agree with that.
We're both
Short and crooked's bad. Okay.
Yeah, well, and we're both coming off of the Maryland Open, which is like the total opposite end of the spectrum golf course from this, where it's kind of shorter. You're really placing the ball in certain spots. Greens have a lot of slope and they're not subtle, whereas here there's less slope and the slopes are kind of subtle. So if you drive it well around here and you're in the fairways, you can attack. The problem becomes if you're putting yourself in the rough. The rough does seem, patented Bermuda. You can get some jumpers. It'll sit down. And I had a couple that sat up, and then also I dropped a couple balls and they went straight to the bottom. So it's just going to be a premium on fairways and hitting it far. I mean, if you hit it really far, like Mark and Joey do, you can spray it a little bit and get away with a little bit shorter like I do than them. You got to hit fairways. You got to hit straight. And I think that's going to be the most important thing. And then you're just trying to roll putts in. These greens are very, very tough to read. I always struggle with them. I feel like, just like Spade said, a lot of greens out here, and I walk up the golf course and I'm like, why did I not make more birdies? So
yeah, pretty much.
It's Mark's statement about trying to hit the best putt you can and accepting the results. The best thing you can do on these greens. 100%.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys. Go ahead, Mike.
No, I'm just glad that everyone else has trouble on these greens. I thought it
Yeah.
was me for
No,
years.
definitely.
This is great.
Yeah,
Good.
typical round for me is 17 greens, 35 putts. Out there. I mean, that happens all the time.
Yeah, it's very common out here, I feel like.
Thank you guys for taking
Yeah,
the time. We
absolutely.
appreciate you coming
Yeah,
on.
thank you so
Play
much.
well this weekend.
Represent
Thank you,
the
sir.
club
Looking
pros.
forward to having you and covering you more. Let's bring up our 2022 champion, Nick Tolliver, who we'll have some videos with Nick dropping over the weekend. But
I'm sitting in the shade.
Let's bring in another past champ. Let's do Ryan Zilster as well.
Good to meet you, Ryan.
Hey, pleasure to meet you.
that's awesome. Two past champions on right now from opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
But Nick, let's talk a little bit about your 2022 run and the state of your career and your life right now.
Yeah. I started working in September at a local CPA firm. I'm doing some audit work. And that's been an adjustment. I came out here, hit some balls for 30 minutes. Probably do some putting after this, but yeah, the 22 Open, that was 3 years ago now. Yeah, I hadn't been having the best summer to that point. Didn't play well at the Kenridge, didn't play well at the State Am. But that week just started kind of hitting the ball better and hit it well in the practice round, made some birdies in the practice round. And then, to me, it wasn't really a surprise. Shouldn't say that, but when I woke up the next morning still hitting it well, I wasn't surprised, I should say. And yeah, got hot, made a lot of birdies and held on Sunday. Shot 72 and won.
We have a video that we might be able to queue up and get to shortly that is with you talking about when you win this championship, you're the best player in Virginia.
Uh-huh.
And at the time that you won was a year when Evan Beck was still playing a regional-ish schedule before he's graduated to a more national mid-amateur schedule.
Right.
And that was, he rolled off 6 birdies in front of you at some point. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I wasn't playing with him. Yanked one left OB on 15 and then hit one right. And at that point, I asked my caddy Channing, I was like, so what's the deal here? Because I knew I was in the lead, but didn't know how much. And he's like, Evans at 9. And I guess I was 12, made triple. Now we're tied. And then 16 after a triple is not the easiest hole to be playing, and went par and birdied 18. But yeah, going into that round, I was naive to assume it was a 3-horse race, but I was thinking it was me, Mark, Connor, Burgess. I figured it would come from that group, but Evan's a good player, and when he gets hot, it's something. So
yeah. How did it feel when you were able to hoist the trophy there, though, at the end of the round?
it was good. I birdied 18. I knew what the putt did, and I'm glad it was right edge, maybe just outside right. And yeah, I remember looking up and it's going dead center. I was like, all right. And yeah, it's hard to describe that feeling. It's you almost black out.
Yeah. You have Independence history from growing up playing
Mhm.
here and then playing here in high school. Ryan, what's your Independence history? Where did you win and what year were you there?
I won 2017. It was at Valley Hack. I think that was the second last year we played it there. I think 2018 was the last year, if I remember. And at the time, I remember going to the final round, and I was like, I am 3 shots back, and I was to I think at the time Michael Brennan was 16 at the time. had the lead going to the final round, and I just remember going how do I answer questions to my members and stuff yeah, who's beating a 16-year-old? And it's yeah, he's really darn good. Obviously, really, really good. In that final round, I just played in the Greenbrier a couple weeks earlier. I qualified to play in that, so I was playing well and excited to play. And then the final round, I kind of got off to a good start, made the turn. I looked at the leaderboard for the first time and saw I think I had an 8 or 9 shot lead on the next pro. And I realized I think I was 1 back of Michael, and I was like, all right, let's just see if I can make a bunch of birdies. I felt like the pro side of it was wrapped up as long as I didn't do anything ridiculous, which can happen there. Obviously, it's pretty penalizing if you miss. But I got really hot and just made a bunch of putts and was able to. I think I ended up winning by 2, I believe, or 3 at the time, and shot 66 the final round and played really well. But that was part of a good year. 2017, I won a lot of things that year. I won the National PGA Assistant Championship and qualified for a tour event and won Section Player of the Year and stuff. So a lot of years of struggle trying to do it for a living. Didn't have a lot of success. And then when I got to the club pro ranks, it kind of, I guess maybe having a steady paycheck made a world of difference just in the mentality of freeing me up to go play. And
Independence, though, it's been challenging. I have, in all honesty, not played very well here ever. Listening to Larkin and Josh and a lot of other people, greens are extremely challenging. I was just talking to Brian Jackson out there and Woodson and them, and just saying, like, I've been here for so long and I still cannot get the speed of these greens. Played Maryland Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, putted pretty decent, played really well there, finished top 10, and come here playing good. But again, I just putted for, I don't know, an hour, and I'm just like, man, confidence is right back to where it was last year when I was here. So you never know, though. I mean, you're playing good, and you see one puck when it changes everything. So, and confidence can flip on a switch. So
let's talk about just kind of like with Larkin and Josh about keeping the game sharp. You've been at this for a while now. Yeah. Different ventures here and there. What's it like? How do you feel like you're prepped? Feel like you're ready?
Absolutely. I'll be honest with you. I'm very fortunate now. I run and operate a indoor practice facility that's 24/7 here in town, and got TrackMans and stuff. So I don't play golf outdoors. I really don't. It's only when I play tournaments. I literally do not play golf outdoors.
That was going to be my follow-up. How does the transition from being indoors a lot, because we're seeing simulator places pop up all over the country. I know more and more guys that are putting them in their garage. It seems like these days. What's that transition like from indoor to outdoor?
For me, I mean, I've been doing this for so long, playing that it really all it did is just solidified like what I was feeling. It really validated whether what. Man, I'm pretty simple. I've never really been too technical, so I just pay attention to my path and my face, and it's like, how far is the ball carrying when I hit a solid like that? And it varies day to day, week to week. I'm older now, so my body doesn't feel the same. It hurts like playing 54 holes and walking Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I am more thankful than you can imagine to be riding carts the next 3 days, because that was not easy for someone who doesn't do any golf outdoors. So
you got a little more gray in that beard.
Yeah, it stressed, and the rain delays didn't help. So hopefully we can avoid that. No, but it's been great. The indoor thing is, I enjoy it. I never thought I would, but I don't sweat when I teach. Yeah. So I can teach all day and feel refreshed when I go home. I know Brian probably stands on that tee all day and like everything. But I'm thankful for what I get to do, and I'm excited to watch the indoor golf scene kind of explode and become more, especially with TGL. Tiger and them have done a great thing, and I think it'll only get better moving forward.
Nick, sorry, Nick, you're a working man now, right? When you were here, you were at Radford playing all the time. What's it like for you getting prepared or being on the other side?
Yeah, I was trying to take notes there. It's an adjustment. I mean, like, would I say I've prepared exactly the way I wanted to? No, but the reality is I gotta, just go out there and let it rip tomorrow. I've been working hard, in the last, 2 months, but as far as, lead up to this week, but it is what it is. And it's an adjustment. I'm sure I'll get better at it as the years go on. But yeah, I need a indoor simulator. That's what it sounds like.
Yes. That place you can go.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate both of you guys taking the time. Have a great weekend this week. Play well here at Independence. And, we hope one of you is able to put your name on that trophy again. That'd be really special.
Would greatly appreciate that opportunity to have a chance for that again. So
thanks so much. Let's bring in Charlie Hansen now.
Thanks, guys.
I'm sorry. Is everyone all right? Yeah, all right.
Thank you.
Thank you
so much.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.
Nick, thank you. It was fun. We talked to Mark Lawrence as one of the hottest players in Virginia. Charlie Hansen coming in literally hot right now from a G Pro Tour event.
We're going to bring in his Herm buddy.
Yes, let's
Hermitage. Thanks to Brian Jackson.
Yep, absolutely.
What's up, Brian? Thank you.
Absolutely.
We have a PGA professional, a non-affiliated professional, as they say.
A lowly mini tour golfer.
Thank you.
So, Charlie, you were in Blacksburg this morning for the final round of the G Pro Tour event, and you finished tied 6th.
Yep.
Talk a little bit about that round and the week.
It was a good day. Tough finish, my first and third rounds. Couple putts here and there, but it was a solid week. A lot of good to take from it. Feel like I was right there. Feel like I left a lot of strokes out there. So that's a better feel to have walking away from a non-win rather than feeling like you played as good as you could and you're 10 back. So it was a good week. Fun to be back in Blacksburg. Enjoyed it. Got to stay with a bunch of buddies. So tons of fun.
Qualifier do you sort of move on to next?
I'll probably play a couple more G Pros. And then a lot of Monday qualifiers, as many as I can go play. and then Q School in the fall. That'll be in October in Winston-Salem. So the first stage is the stuff you're just playing for a lot of reps. You can't get any status through that stuff. So you play as many of those as you can for reps, and then Mondays to hopefully get a shot.
And I'm sure it'll be at Chat Moss in a couple of weeks.
Yep.
Also for that.
Yep.
Brian Jackson, talk a little bit about your journey to this point where we are now. Moss in a couple of weeks.
Yep.
Also for that.
Yep.
Brian Jackson, talk a little bit about your journey to this point where we are now.
Yeah, it's been 49 now, so I'm like from the senior stuff. So yeah, no, I'm ready. I'm ready. So yeah, it's fun. You know, I'm a full-time teacher. I just taught 9 to 7 today, 9 to 6:30. But I still love to compete. I don't get to practice that much, but
you don't need it.
No, but it's fun. I've been working with Charlie here for almost a year, and I've just picked up Ryan Cole. So I'm kind of living through those guys and helping them out, and but still love to compete. So my journey here has been, I played in the State Open, since Faber won it, like in 90,
Somewhere
yeah.
in there. Yeah.
So it's the years are adding up. And I notoriously have never really played that well in the State Open. I've played okay in other events, but I'm excited to tee it up, and unfortunately do not hit it as far as Lawrence and Joey. So I got to be extra good on minimizing my mistakes. But I love to get out here, compete with the young guys, and see what happens.
And have played it in the Open the past couple of years as well. I love it. It feels like home. It's kind of, I would call it like a secondary home course to me. Hermitage is where I'm at most of the time, but the folks at Independence have been very kind, get me out here a good bit. So it's comfortable. It's Bermuda greens, which is nice. Kind of the only course in the area that you get that at. But yeah, it's a good switch up from Hermitage. I feel like with our two courses at Herm, you get a good driving test on one, more of a ball striking course, and then a little bit more open, more birdieable course on Mannequin. And then out here is kind of a mix, maybe just kind of like a longer Mannequin. Just hit a lot of drivers and fairway, hit it and find it.
Yeah.
So
Mike,
yeah.
what do you got?
So, Brian, talk to me. You teach a lot of these guys. I'm kind of fascinated looking at the player roster. And we got 12 junior circuit players in this field. As an instructor, this young crop, we're starting the PGA Tour now. These kids are ready sooner than they used to be. What do you attribute to that? You see it every day on the lesson tee.
Yeah. They just have no fear. And they, the modern game is hit it far. Yeah. And, with analytics coming in, we've learned that fairways hit really doesn't matter anymore. It's an obsolete, even greens and regulation. It's hit it as far as you can, keep it between the trees, and go make birdies. Give yourself opportunities. Birdies are luck. So you got to get the percentage. It's like playing blackjack. Yeah. You play your cards, and birdies just happen to make it. So these kids, they see it on TV. They see the TV. They see these guys, and then I think the classic one was when Tiger was coming out. All of a sudden he had no fear, and so these kids they hit it so far and can just they just make so many freaking birdies. So it's fun to watch. It's fun to coach.
Yeah.
And you give them Jay's working with those kids. You just give them, like Charlie here will shoot a 62 with anybody. So, am I giving him these incredible, swing tips? I'm helping him with forces and stuff like that, but they're just wired different now. And the kids that can make the transition isn't that big anymore for elite juniors. It's pretty cool.
Charlie, when you go to a G Pro Tour event or a professional event, is it just like blinders on, birdie, birdie, birdie? Like that's what I've got to do today?
I think subconsciously, yes. You're not consciously thinking about that. I think one of the things I've worked on the last 2-3 years is basically taking pressure off of myself. I think we're all very competitive and we want it. That's kind of in our DNA. It's more to me about like taking pressure off. But there is somewhere in there that knows, yeah, we got to make a lot of birdies out here. So, at times it's knowing the course, knowing your misses, and knowing when to be aggressive and when not to be is the most important part. I try and blend a little bit of like a decade type stuff. And then a lot of it is just feel with reps. But that's the biggest thing, is just knowing when to be aggressive and when to not be as aggressive.
Brian, how do you coach and teach guys like Charlie or Ryan to trust the reps and to trust the process, that what they're doing is a path towards greater and better golf?
Yeah, so I've learned that elite players are micro sensitive to swing. Like they focus in way too much. So I keep them big picture stuff. Sure, we can dive into some crazy technical stuff, but it's really them keeping them big picture at 30,000 feet. And everybody has patterns. Everybody has their tendencies that they've learned from the beginning. Their brain just works a certain way. So it's working with those patterns and keeping them, it's just like keeping them in bumpers. And you're just there, come back one week and Charlie comes off the road and he's just out on the PGA. They're not working on new stuff. They're just keeping them in their little pattern boundaries with face and path. That's all they're doing.
Yeah, and I'm glad you kind of brought that up. I've been to the Dominion Energy Charity Classic a couple of years, and I've seen you out there. So you obviously have some relationships with some of those guys and some of those Classic a couple of years, and I've seen you out there. So you obviously have some relationships with some of those guys and some of those coaches. What have you learned from that experience? You talked there a little bit about it. Is there anything else that you've been able to bring back to Herman, to your students?
I have. It's funny. I've talked to a lot of good coaches. I was really lucky to work with Darren Clark for the week, but he'll pretty much take swing advice from a cart staff guy. so I don't know if there's a feather in my cap there, but we did work for about 3-4 days. And but those guys, it's amazing, and it's amazing how much those guys know about their golf swing, but they don't really know about the technical side of the science-based why. So that's the fun part, is they could tell you, hey, this is what you need to do, and it's not even close to what they're doing. So as a coach, you have to know that technical side to talk to their feels. And I find that, if the more you're educated, the more you can talk like a kindergarten teacher and get them to do stuff that in about 3 words instead of going in this long dissertation. Yeah, I'm not talking about you, Charlie, at all. But that's the fun part about teaching. It's the puzzle pieces, and then you got to know the puzzle pieces, and then try to convince these psychos that that it's the right thing without getting too technical, but get them to do technical stuff without being technical. Yeah. It's a fun art. Like, it's a really cool art.
Charlie, what's it like? We have a really cool group of crop here, young mini tour guys. Yeah. Ryan Cole, Mark Lawrence, yourself, Connor Burgess. What's it like to have that one, just to practice and play, to get prepared, with high level competition, and maybe have a familiar face on the road with you?
It's been great. I mean, we've got like the 4 of us and Cam Moore as well. It's huge, I think, to be able to have guys to practice with every day that keep you competitive. And then another thing, one of the things that I heard about pro golf before I started playing was like, it can get lonely. And I feel like I've been very fortunate to have a good group of guys to travel with everywhere, doing a lot of Airbnbs with them. So I am lucky to not have really felt that yet. Mm-hmm. So that's huge. And then it's like just an extension of college golf. We're basically all teammates here in Richmond now. So it's cool being able to practice with them, bounce ideas off of them, about kind of anything. It's been a blast.
Yep. Brian, you did a bunch of work with NASCAR. I want to know who's the best golfer in NASCAR.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I gotta put it towards right now, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Okay. He's tough. Denny just had a new baby, so it's number 3 for him, little boy. So he the game might have slipped. He started a podcast. He's now he's got his 2311 race car team with Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
So Ricky just had one, but he only has one. So yeah, it's been fun with those guys. It's called the Golf Guys Tour. We've been together for 13 years now. Gosh, 13 or 15 years. So it all started. I traveled with him for a long time, and I was more of a head pro for NASCAR drivers, and yeah, teaching them golf. That's crazy, but they're so much fun. They love golf, and they're passionate about it. Just like the elite level players and drivers of any sport, you get them into golf. You see it with every single sport. They are obsessed with it because the ball's sitting there. They have mastered their sport, and it humbles them so much that nothing's happening. They just have to hit the ball, and it's impossible. You can shoot a 58 out here, be like, man, you know what? That 12-footer on 17. So you can't master the sport, and I think it's very intriguing for elite athletes in every sport, and that's why I love golf, and that's why they love golf. Yeah.
You guys excited for this weekend? I mean, we've heard it's great to have people come off of the tour. We had the interview with Vinny and Bobby Watkins, where Vinny was talking about really what was going to make the State Open get it to that next level was having guys like Bobby come in off the tour. And I know for those of us that, like Mike and myself and Brian, who are here year in and year out seeing the State Open, it's fun to see guys like you come in off of the tour to play in this event. What does it mean to you in your heart, the State Open of Virginia?
Yeah, well, thank you. I appreciate that. To me, it's huge. It's our State Open. I grew up here too. It's a chance to, when you play pro golf, especially on a lot of the different like mini tours and whatnot, you see a lot of the same faces every week. So it's a chance to go up against kind of a new batch of guys, along with a lot of our close friends and competitors that I play with every day. But it's very cool. It's a big goal of mine to be able to win this at some point. I think it'd be really cool. But I haven't really been in reaching distance of it, so hopefully we can change that in the next.
We need some
year
pros
or two.
to make the cut. The PGA pros, we work too much. So if we get some AMs to get some competition for the AMs.
Without slighting any of the other State Opens, but as a PGA professional, like how does this rank and how do you sort of place the State Open of Virginia in your mind?
Yeah, I mean, when dating back, when Frank Harelko ran it, and he did such a tremendous job with, what bank was it back then?
SunTrust.
SunTrust, yeah. Big, long, great partnership. And, it was on TV. It was roped off, like Robert Wren was playing in it, and it was just so cool. So having these young studs back and playing in it, it challenges everybody in the field because you know what the Charlie Hansons and Mark Lawrences are going to do. But to have this live from the State Open, this pumping up, we kind of went through a little bit lull. So to see some energy back into this, and kudos to you guys for putting this on. I think the state, there's a reason why Dominion Energy wants to stay in the state with the Senior Open or the Senior Championship. It's because Virginia loves golf, and there's an energy from the locals of coming out and supporting local golf, and even the studs coming in for the Champions Tour. But so this has a great history of the State Open, and I'm excited because I know where it can get with you guys contributing. So this is step one, but super excited to be involved.
Well, we appreciate you guys taking the time.
Absolutely.
We're about out of time. Mike, do you have any parting shots that you want to offer before we wrap it up?
I think I'm oddly more excited for the State Open this year, and I'm not even playing for the first time in forever.
Pressure's off.
There's no pressure. It's great. I'm not going to make a single bogey. I could make it with my mouth, though. That's pretty easy. Anyone who knows me, there better be a beat button on the live
double
broadcast.
bogeys. Bogeys are fine.
I'm just excited. Like I said, I think there's like you said, an energy.
Yeah.
I think we're
hopefully
starting to build a bigger energy and let everyone in the state know this is the best tournament in the state. And it should be. We should get a bunch of fans out here. Come out, watch, follow along online. We'll have some more social media coverage. We're going to have the live broadcast. And I think we're just kind of, just grazing the surface right now. And it's going to be bigger and better every year, and we'll get some more sponsors and raise money for the Virginia for Veterans, which is a great cause. That's close to my heart. Just we've been dealing with them up at the Foundry for years, and so yeah, I'm just fired up. I'm just happy to be here. Like I said, I'm happy to be here on Sunday. It's just going to be great. Never here on Sunday, so
guaranteed. It's going to be a great week of a lot of coverage. We hope you follow VA State Opens on Instagram. Follow the VSGA. Follow the MAPGA. And you can listen to more of Mike on the CGN broadcast, which will begin on Saturday and Sunday in the second and third rounds of the championship, which is going to be so special. As an open championship, again, awesome to have guys like Charlie, like Brian, like Joey Jordan, these top amateurs, Liam, who's here, Jay Woodson, who's, I asked Jay the other day, how much pro golf do you play? He said July. That's July.
He's a working man.
But he will be there come Sunday afternoon, one way or another.
Yeah.
It's just what this, not even just this course. So
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for watching live from Virginia. I'm Matt Pochily. That's Mike Morrone. And we hope we see you over the weekend.